Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first week of the Entities Campfire. We are here on the Wrecker's Yard. It is Xtra versus Dead Future here. Patrol, Finesse, Fancy, and Jaden here on the serve side representing Team Dead Future. We have Phaser representing Team Xtra. An amazing first tag here for Phaser at the 3 side of the map, on the corrupt side of the map, chasing Patrol over to the 4 side of the map as well. However, Phaser doesn't really have much to use here. It looks like Patrol is just going to go down here. Beautiful first chase here for Phaser. Unfortunately, on the corrupt side of the map, so not going to be interrupting any generators for it. However, still not the start you hate if you're Phaser. Going to be trying to take him, it looks like, to the hill, and will actually make the hill. So this is actually a very, very good hook location for Phaser here. Beautiful, beautiful start if you are Team Xtra. Reloading our bottles here. We are moving over to the 7 side of the map. We have a fun bus. Yes, right, the fun bus. Very, very diverse loop in that it can either be a bad loop or a good loop. In this case, it looks pretty bad. However, we are seeing a generator with a little bit of progress, kicking that generator, heading straight back to the 6 side of the map here, seeing if we can find any rotation. We hear Shack being progressed. You have to assume maybe that's a double of a generator because, remember, this down was pretty early, so getting that amount of pressure on the Shack generator would not shock you. We hear a scream coming in to the fun bus here because it is Dragon's Grip. That is right, Dragon's Grip, very strong perk, is allowed here on the Entities Campfire. And we will be heading back to the unhook, pressuring these generators with Dragon's Grip as well as pressuring Shack a little bit as well. Shack will probably pop in order to get Patrol to 2nd stage here, and I think that Dead Future is going to just accept this. We are heading back to the Shack, see if we can stop it from popping. We absolutely can, kicking the Shack generator, heading straight back. Patrol will be going 2nd stage for Phaser's troubles. However, an amazing, amazing start for Phaser, having a survivor on 2nd stage before a generator is able to pop. Now, a generator does pop, but still, this is not a start that you hate if you're Phaser. We understand that the fun bus was being progressed just a little bit here. We are heading straight back, seeing if we can see anything. Not a lot of progress on it. That means we will be able to head back. Still, no one has come for Patrol. Patrol is just going to be hanging here, not able to really get any value from his teammates. And because that down was so quickly, Dead Futures has no choice but to let him hang. It does look like we will just be camping Patrol to death here. Now, if you are Team Xtra, this is not exactly the result that you want to see happening. However, it does mean that generators will be progressed a little bit, so you might see 2 generators popping for Phaser's troubles here. Yeah, it looks like Patrol will just be dying on hook, and Phaser, accepting that, going to be trying to stop Shack from popping, is able to successfully stop Shack from popping. That is only 2 generators for Patrol's death against Clown, a pretty weak killer. So this is definitely an amazing, amazing start for Xtra. We are kicking the truck generator. No one else, another survivor was around here, throwing a bottle, seeing if we can get a slowdown here. However, it looks like Jaden was unperturbed by it. Heading back to the Shack. We know that this was being progressed, however, it doesn't look like we can get much more value off of it since Phaser's been very diligent about it. Beautiful W holding coming in from Jaden, not hitting that bottle, however, will take a tag for his troubles, heading over to the car pile. Car pile can be pretty strong, however, can be pretty weak if there's nothing to use. In this case, there was nothing to use, so a pretty weak tile. Heading over to the 6 side of the map here, we have a 4-lane. We will, however, make the pallet, however, trying to mind game it. Beautiful pallet hold from Jaden. Amazing 1v1 player, however, will eventually go down. Shack, however, will pop. Phaser taking that hook here. This is still an amazing, amazing result here for Phaser. Clown, not a killer that tends to get more than like 6 stages on the Wrecker's Yard, especially due to the fact of him being quite a weak killer here. However, Jaden will be going on hook, and that is a pain resonance hook on the truck generator. We know that for certain because it is sparking currently, and it was the highest progress generator since that last generator popped. We are not going to be seeing any other survivors around here. Heading over to the bottom side of the map here, as we have 2 generators very close together here. This is actually a really good 3-gen for Phaser. If Phaser can hold this, this is absolutely what you're looking for. Jaden will be unhooked. We have both of these generators being progressed little by little, inch by inch. However, Phaser not going to be phased by it under any circumstances, mind the pun. Can we see any survivor reset? And we see birds! Beautiful, beautiful info there for Phaser. I do not believe we would have seen the survivors there had that bird not had moved her. A tag onto Fancy here. However, we know Finesse is progressing those generators over on the 3 side of the map here. So this chase needs to be quick. We are going to be breaking the pallet. It wasn't any means necessary play, trying to maybe fake out Phaser into thinking we are slow vaulting the pallet. However, not going to work. Phaser, again, unfazed. As we are heading to the corner, they are probably doubling out another generator, trying to get one more generator pop. Eruption happens. We hear screams confirming that they are, in fact, on the generators here, taking Jaden to a hook. This is not Pain Resonance. Jaden was the second hook. And we will be heading straight back to where we know those generators are being progressed here onto the 3-7 map. 12 was actually being progressed. A beautiful, beautiful bit of misdirection there. I was mistaken about where exactly they were progressing these generators. 1 generator remaining. You might assume Fancy is just progressing a generator instead of going for Jaden here, but that might not be the correct play, as we are taking it straight to these other generators. So you have to assume Fancy is in fact going for Jaden. Yep, there's the confirmation for it. Finesse taking quite a diligent chase here. Vaulting the window is going to make this pallet. Beautiful chase coming in from Finesse here. Finesse absolutely carrying Team Dead Future on his back here with these chases. However, will eventually go down for his troubles. Heading back to the hill generators, heading back to these generators over here. We have amazing 3 gens. It's going to be very difficult for Team Xtra to pop, or I'm sorry, for Team Dead Future to pop another generator here without getting these resets in, and we do see the resets coming through. Finesse being slugged here. However, we do see Fancy here rotating to the 9 side of the map, so Jaden gonna have to be stealthing for his life here, trying to pick up Finesse. A bottle, quick, precise bottle thrown onto Fancy will mean a tag. A tag and leave, hit and run. As we're heading back to the 3 side of the map here, Finesse finally picked up. We know where Jaden is now. We know where all 3 survivors are. This is still very good for Phaser here, as we will see another down onto Finesse. Eruption onto the 4 generator, picking up Finesse. We know Pain Resonance is in play, and I think that's exactly where we want to go. Hooking into the 3 side of the map here. A pallet dropped just now. Did I hear a bug or something? I might be hearing things. That is not a Pain Resonance hook. However, we are hooking onto the 3 generator. We see Fancy rotating towards the generator over by the hill, and we see Jaden as well, kind of trying to stealth, maybe seeing if we can pick up Finesse. However, I don't think it will be happening. No, Jaden just wants to run. We do see Jaden. However, Phaser knows and understands that that is not a chase that we need to be taking. We're just going to head straight back to our hook. However, the generator over by hill progressed slowly but surely, but not enough to perturb Phaser, unfortunately. It will mean an unhook on to Finesse here. However, we are leaving that hook. An unhook onto Finesse here coming through. Finesse has to run for her life, trying to get a reset here with Fancy maybe. However, if we are not able to successfully rotate, we will not be able to do so. Jaden taking chase here, you have to assume maybe on purpose. However, it's a head-on play, a beautiful head-on play coming in from Finesse here. Will it mean anything happens though for our troubles? Being very patient at this pallet, we finally drop it. Cannot take any more chances, and that is a fault, but unfortunately not gonna result in anything coming in from Finesse, as she will go down. Heading back to the hill generator here. We want to get a kick in. Eruption applied to the generator. If we can find Fancy, another down would mean another eruption. However, we are seeing the pallet come through. Jaden having to fast vault the Val pallet, knowing that Phaser is coming back. We are going to kick the pallet, making sure this loop is no longer a safe one. Picking up Finesse. If we can get this hill hook, we would not hate our position here. And it looks like that's exactly what Phaser is looking to do here. A beautiful hook location here for Phaser. Pain Resonance coming in to the hook generator. However, the entity is starting to grasp at that generator, saying, no, 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 Phaser, you have damaged this generator one too many times, and if you keep doing it, I will block it. However, Phaser says that's absolutely fine. That just means I have to end this game quick enough that will not happen. 3 generator being progressed slowly but surely, and there is Jaden. This pallet will be dropped, and it will mean a tag, an unfortunate tag coming in from Jaden. They're not quite able to read Phaser's mind there, and it doesn't look like Jaden's going to be able to make much here. However, does actually make the window. Beautifully played from Jaden. Understanding what it is that he has. He will not make this pallet, however, and that will be another eruption on to the hill generator over at 5. We are heading straight back over there. We see the aura of finesse. We know where Fancy is as well. We are not interested, however. We know Jaden is dead on hook. We are taking that hook, and we are saying, fine, play the 2v1. Hooking onto the 3 side of the map here. Jaden will be out of the game here. We see finesse on the hill. This generator was slowly and surely being progressed. You have to imagine just a little bit more time from Jaden was bought. Maybe they would have gotten it close enough to play into the 2v1. However, it's looking like a 4K1 here coming in for Team Xtra. Beautifully played, and there is the purple bottle scream coming in for Fancy. No, forgive me, that's not a purple bottle scream. That's a Dragon's Grip play, confirming where our survivors are. The team is playing this very meticulously here, taking their distance when they can. You have to assume Phaser might just say, you know what? Fine. I'm taking my final chase, and this is going to last no time at all. Throwing our purple bottle here. Playing around the pallet. We are able to get the down. A beautiful play coming in from Phaser as we are heading straight back to the 3 generator. We see the aura of finesse. This game is all but decided. A 4K1 result coming in for Team Xtra. Beautifully played from Phaser here. Good try from the survivors of Dead Future. Unfortunately, their start will mean that a 4K1 is the best result they can get. However, you don't hate this result considering the start that you had. Patrol did their job in staying on that hook and allowing their team to get as many generators popped as possible. However, Phaser with a 4K1 result. Very, very beautiful result for the clown. Not a result you expect to see on this killer. I'm very colorfully impressed. This killer is the clown, but maybe I am the real clown for thinking that, you know, this is a result that's not feasible. Phaser proving me wrong with some excellent, excellent plays. This game is all but decided. We will see you all for round number 2. Dead Future killing against Team Xtra. Stay tuned. back here at the entity's campfire here. It is Jaden taking first chase onto Phaser. Just an immediate find here. An amazing immediate find as well here for Jaden here as we are taking chase on the 10 side of the map here. Phaser, Revel, sorry, going to be vaulting the window, taking chase over to where he needs to take chase, which is the 6-3 side of the map, as that is the corrupted side, taking chase on this, honestly, what I call Burger King tile. I don't know if anyone else calls it but we are taking chase back to the 7 tile, actually. So we have to assume maybe that there was some call to actually play 7. Perhaps because we're working 1-3 side. That would actually make a lot of sense here. We are seeing a very quick down here as head-on will actually happen. A beautiful head-on play coming in from Phaser. I was wondering what that pathing was, and never mind. I ate my words. Taking chase over onto Revel again. Phaser will be taking a hit for Revel here. Beautiful generator efficiency. However, we are getting around Phaser here. Beautiful play from Jaden as Revel will go down. We want to play for a tag here onto Phaser here. We have a very hefty win condition to play for. So every little bit helps when it comes to tags, when it comes to downs, when it comes to pain resonances, when it comes to generator regression. There's Diego taking another tag. Oh dear. Is this going wrong for Team Dead Future? Or not Team Dead Future, I apologize. Team Xtra. Now you have to assume not really, because like maybe this is all part of the plan here. As a beautiful down coming in from Jaden. Going back over to the 9 side of the map here, we see Revel and Phaser. They have picked each other up. Only person on Gens is Braku. Braku gonna have to rotate probably for a pickup here. As we see another early down here onto Phaser. This is exactly what you need if you're Jaden, if you expect to meet the 4K 1K win condition here. Pallet drop will meet a stun onto Jaden, taking it over to yet another one of these pallets here. Looking up, trying to avoid it as we see another down. Are we slugging again? No, we are picking up a beautiful bit of an exchange there for Jaden. However, we hear the 11 generator being progressed, and that is the only generator being progressed as well, as we see Braku was on it. This is exactly what you need if you're Jaden. Reloading, taking our speed boost over to the 6th side of the map here. We want to find the reset. We do find the reset, and that means Diego will be going down. Jaden heading back over to the hook. We see an unhook about to happen here. Cannot make it a trade. However, getting there and throwing that bottle with precision. Oh, but it will not quite mean anything, as we will take a tag onto Revel here. We want Phaser. We need Phaser. If we expect to meet this 4K1 condition or even break it, we need to stay on top of our efficiency here. Diego's slug will certainly help with this, but not enough, as Phaser going to be heading back over to the 11th side of the map here. We are going to be running around this hill. Do we expect to die? No, we have a pallet here. We're running straight to 3. Do we make this pallet? Even with this bottle, we don't, and Phaser will be going down. Beautiful chase coming in from Jade, and Phaser buying her team enough time, or their team enough time, excuse me, to be able to get the slugs up yet again. However, we still have 2 injuries. Resets are going to be happening here. We're taking Phaser over to the 6th hook here. We want to potentially hook somewhere that we can easily protect these generators. Resets are going to be happening onto Diego and Rebel. Braku, you have to imagine, is progressing a generator. We are going to see 11 generator popping, heading over to the 9th side of the map here, throwing a yellow bottle. We want in on that. And we are heading back to hook here. This is not a terrible place to defend generators here. We have 9, we have 8, and we have 7. An amazing 3 gen here. We also still have the shack generator. 3 is still on its way as well. If we want hope of matching or even beating this win condition, we need to capitalize on every single mistake these survivors are making. That was a lot of tags and a lot of different exchanges here that caused the survivors a lot of time, as we will be seeing Diego. A tag means a trade. Another generator popping. as we will see Phaser taking chase over to the shack here. We do unfortunately make it. A grab will mean that Phaser is going down yet again. Beautiful, beautiful stuff from Jaden here. Getting that grab was absolutely necessary, and he got it. Going back over to the hook here, we have another pain resonance to meet. We've lost Jaden. No, we found Jaden. Thank goodness Jaden is, Diego. Thank goodness Jaden is saying as we are picking up Diego, taking Diego to what you have to assume is a pain resonant hook. 3 is still a generator that can pop. However, we do still have this 3 generator. Oh, we don't. 9 is the one that popped. No, it was 7, I see. Or 8, I apologize. Kicking the pallet, making this loop no longer that safe. We suspect maybe there's someone around here. 9 is being progressed. We hear it. Kicking the 9 generator. We just want to get a little bit of regression on it. We don't want to give up this hook too easily, as we're going to be yellow bottling back to the hook, potentially trying to stop an unhook. And we do. There is no one here. However, Dragon's Grip going to be happening. I believe that was the scream of a Feng Min. And if it was, yes, it was. And that will mean that if this down happens, oh dear, that will be a swing and a miss coming in from Jaden. A pallet drop, however. Oh no, not able to quite make the pallet as we're heading straight back to hook. Yellow bottling straight away. Can we make this hook before another unhook happens? If we do, somehow, miraculously, Jaden will have actually beaten the win condition. We want to go over to 3. We suspect it's popping. It is! It is popping, and that is going to be the tie condition met by Jaden. Jaden had it all to play for and is somehow able to meet it. Beautifully played from Jaden. Unfortunately, not able to stop that 3 generator from popping, but still, you have to commend the amazing, amazing plays here made by Jaden. This game is all but decided. If we can find Braku, it will mean that Jaden has met the win condition for Team Xtra. Or, I apologize, Team Dead Future. Braku being picked up here, and that means this game has been decided. A 4K1, a beautiful meeting of the tie condition from Jaden. You have to commend this, especially on a killer like Cloud. It was looking quite dreary at the beginning, but somehow we've managed to do it. Again, color me impressed. I just putting on my clown makeup, the clown basically saying, here's my makeup, here's my lipstick, put this on you, fool. Because that is what you are, thinking that 4K1 is not a result that can be gotten on me. I may not be the strongest killer in this game, but I am certainly not the weakest. Beautiful, beautiful stuff coming in from Jaden. We will take a short intermission here, and we will be back for set number 2. Killing first is Dead Future. It is the one and only, the Dark Lord himself, Dracula. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the Coal Tower. It is Team Dead Future versus Xtra yet again. Rebel, Phaser, Feedy this time, and Diego for Team Xtra on the Coal Tower versus the Dark Lord, Mr. Dracula himself. Finesse taking his chase, beautiful chase going on here. Hellfire trying to flick it, but not gonna quite be able to hit it. Wolf form taking charge here, as we want to just run down Revel as much as possible. 1 pounce, 2 pounces will not quite get Revel down, as we are able to keep rotating around this loop here. The pallet break will mean, however, that Revel doesn't have much place else to go, just going to the corner of the map here. The TNL, the strongest loop in the game, and Revel is here to show why. Never mind. Finesse will be picking up Revel. And Revel, unfortunately, while not a terrible chase here, gonna be going to the 12 side of the map here. This, unfortunately, is probably not the hook location we wanted, and especially not considering a generator will be popping before we're able to get the pain resonance. This might just mean you will not be able to play for a camp or for a tunnel out here. You might want to play for stages, as we will see and hear yet another survivor here coming in. It is Feedy. Feedy lithing away to Shaq here. However, Finesse not really interested in taking that kind of a chase here. We are instead interested in trying to stop 7 generator from popping. We know someone must have been here. Pop goes the Weasel onto 7. Eruption as well will happen as well. We are spamming, trying to find a teleport location. We want to find it as quickly as possible, and we do. We do. No one is around here, however, looking for this unhook. You have to imagine they might be stealthing for this unhook. Because remember, in the bat form, Dracula cannot see scratch marks. However, it looks like no one's around. They're content with letting Revels just sit on a hook here and just do the generators at the bottom side. Hellfire, we are holding it, and that will be an unhook and a tag for both of our team members here. 1 pounce will mean a down onto Revel. Beautiful play coming in from Revel here. A pickup will happen, and Revel will unfortunately be going on the same hook yet again. We did also hear that 7 was erupted, and we heard the scream of, I believe that was Feedy. I believe that was an Ace Screams. I believe that was Feedy getting erupted on that 7 generator. Teleporting over to the A center map here. Can we see or catch anyone off guard? We can, we do, we will, we must. We see someone rotating over for the unhook here. A beautiful blast mine, or apologies, not a blast mine, a beautiful flashbang play will come through for the people, is what is going to be happening here. A down onto Feedy. Really quick down, and we are going to be taking our pain resonance hook, as it will mean that Revel will get away. If Revel can re-stealth this, then Revel might actually live this. Pain resonance coming in, as we are teleporting to the 10 side of the map here. We see scratch marks rotating away, so someone was and still is around here. It's Revel. This is exactly who we needed. Revel going to be needing to make an incredible play here to try to make it to Shaq, and is actually going to make it to Shaq. However, it will mean that the middle generator will be interrupted. You don't hate doing that. The reason you don't hate doing that is because at any means of being able to prevent a tunnel out will mean a better result for you. Revel will get the stun on to Dracula's bat. Dracula will not be happy about this, and is going to continue chase here. Wolf form coming in. There's Revel. Is someone around here now? You have to wonder. Send orbs means we're going to be a little bit faster. And we do see Revel taking loop on this eye tile. Now, this is actually both a safe and unsafe tile against Dracula at the same time. Safe if it's wolf form, not so safe if it's vampire form, because vampire form has the Hellfire. However, Finesse still not going to be able to catch Revel off guard, and that will mean a pallet drop onto the eye tile here. Revel taking an amazing tunnel out chase here. Finesse needs this down, and needs it like yesterday, because if he doesn't, it will mean an unfortunate result here. As a tag coming in onto Revel, beautiful Hellfire, as we will see Diego coming in to prevent the down, and it will not be able to thread the needle, just barely missing. Chasing Revel yet again onto this 8 tile. There is Diego. There's a free tag. That tag will mean absolutely nothing when it comes to allowing Revel to make anything, and Revel will be going down. 2 generators remaining. You have to assume maybe 1, as another generator might just pop for Finesse's troubles. Beautiful death onto Revel. There's Diego. There's Champion of the Light. Meaning that Finesse will be slowed down a little bit. And down onto Phaser as well. Beautiful down through the pallet as well. We'll be taking the pallet as well. This is a 3 generator that we're protecting right now. You do not hate this. However, this generator was about to pop. Pop goes the Weasel. Eruption onto it. There's Feedy. Feedy taking loop over to this pallet here. This pallet is still up, and that'll be a tag onto Feedy. A good attempt from Feedy to try to get around it, but not quite going to make it. Taking chase to the 12 side, and that generator is still regressing. Phaser is still slugged. This is exactly what you need if you're Finesse to make a 4K1 happen here. Vaulting over the window is Feedy. Beautifully played. Running as far away as possible again. Not going to be perturbed in dropping that pallet. However, we don't quite zone away from the pallet enough, as we are able to thread the needle between the vampire and the pallet and get to it. Now, this is where things are going to get precarious. All of these generators are being progressed. However, all survivors are injured here. If we can get it down, and we can get it down very quickly, it will mean better things to happen, and it will not mean a down onto Phaser, as Phaser is going to be hugging these corners very, very tightly. We are heading back to the 12 side of the map here, the 1 side of the map. We are very scared of this popping, and we rightfully should be. Someone on the hill running away. It's Feedy. As we have this pallet still. 1 pounce! 2 pounces! We misplayed! Oh no, we might have made a crucial mistake there! This generator is being progressed. They're doubling it, and it will mean a generator will pop. However, this is probably a 4K1 coming in from Finesse. Oh, 4K0, excuse me. Now, you don't hate this result if you are the Dracula. However, this is still beatable. I mean, Dracula is not a weak killer by any stretch of the imagination. And honestly, there's a very real chance that Xtra's killer can beat that. We have seen worse. Beautiful 1v1 here coming in from Finesse and Phaser. Finesse not really interested in kicking this pallet, and I see why. There's no reason to be too scared here, as we do know Unbreakable is not allowed against this killer. There is no way for the other survivors to get up and potentially open another gate. So perhaps we are just simply not perturbed by— oh no, we've allowed Phaser to escape here. Will it mean a pick up onto Diego? No, it will not. Thank goodness. Finesse breathes a sigh of relief, and there it is. Phaser will be going down. Barring anything else, barring some sort of pickup, barring some sort of impossible Unbreakable play, some sort of Boon exponential play, which again, impossible, barring some kind of impossible self-pickup play, this will be a 4K with 0 generators remaining. A beautiful result coming in from Finesse. Certainly beatable, but certainly matchable as well. I like to wait until every single survivor is on a hook and it's not an S tier, because again, Deliverance is a thing that's possible, and Unbreakable is a thing that's possible. So I like to wait before we end this game to see if there's any possible way that the survivors can make up for this. And here's the thing. I forget, and I'm going to have to ask the referees when this game ends, because, excuse me, the rules are failing me a little bit. I forget if slugs and bleed outs do mean a loss of points. And it looks like that's exactly what Feedy wants to play for here, because again, it will mean that if it is the case that you do lose points for a bleed out, it will mean a slightly better result for Team Xtra. getting a little bit concerned here as to where Feedy is. I don't believe we remember where we downed him, but I do remember where we downed him. It was that wolf pounce over at the 3 tile. Before seeing if we can find Feedy. The clock is ticking. Tick tock. Tick tock. I think this is a bleed out, ladies and gentlemen. It is a bleed out. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back for round 2 of the Dracula on the Coal Tower. See you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Entities Campfire. We are back at the Cold Tower Phaser. This time is the Killer, Jaden, Fancy, Finesse, and Patrol. Bit of housekeeping to do. That's right. Bit of housekeeping. You know how we are. So, the bleedouts do matter. Ostensibly, the Killer of Dead Future got a 3K11 because unfortunately that bleedout did mean a dock of a couple of points. Unless you are on Death Hook, it will mean that you will go down and get mind game at Shack. Oh no, Patrol. Oh dear, that's so unfortunate. A very, very, very unfortunate start here for Team Xtra. However, or sorry, for Team Dead Future, but an amazing, amazing start if you are Xtra. But yeah, the next thing, bit of a mistake in the delay. I made a bit of a blunder. I accidentally did not swap to the killer slot, which unfortunately meant that the survivors and the game started a bit prematurely. So that is our fault. There is no fault to be put onto the survivors and the other team here. Bit of a blunder on our part. Now that we're back in the game, however, we will be seeing a very quick tunnel out coming in onto Patrol. An unhook happening. Jaden going to be taking chase. Oh my God, Phaser, that was disgusting. And unfortunately, not going to be an extra tag coming in onto Jaden. However, Patrol going in for her second, or for their second hook. Very, very, very unfortunate coming in for Team Dead Future. However, again, just something you would love to see if you're a Team Xtra. We are hooking a little bit farther in as we want to maybe protect the generators a little bit farther in. We suspect these are the ones that are being progressed, and if we can grind these to a halt, we're sitting very, very pretty. Pop goes the Weasel onto generator number 2, or the generator at 2, as well as an eruption. Now, we do hear the 8 generator also being progressed. We are also seeing scratch marks leaving it, so we do know that there is yet another survivor around here vaulting back into the window. We fear that perhaps there is someone coming around here trying to make a play, but we do actually see someone! A pallet drop happening as well, so we're just eating these pallets up, nom nom nom, for breakfast. Now this is an amazing, amazing spot for Phaser. This is exactly the kind of thing you want, especially on the Dark Lord, who has a great map mobility. We will not be seeing an unhook here, unfortunately, for Finesse. Finesse understands that this is not a hook that you can get. It'll mean a Hellfire as well as just a free down thereafter, because we'll be able to get both things. Oh my God, wait, hold on a second. That'll be a down onto Finesse. Now, the real question is, what do? Do you take the pain res? No, I don't think that's a pain res anyway, because we are content with hooking somewhere else. No, instead, we are going over for Patrol here. Is able to check spot that pallet very correctly here. Vaulting over it yet again. It looks like taking our chase over to the bottom side of the map here. We see birds being disturbed. We are able to make the 5 Burger King tile. And there is 2 survivors here. However, we want Patrol. A Hellfire, not quite gonna mean a free down, however, but it will mean Fancy will be taking yet another down. We're gonna be kicking this generator with Eruption, as it will mean that if we can get Patrol down as quickly as possible, yet another Eruption proc will happen. Generator over at 11 will be popping. It is the first generator of the match. More to come for this chase, you have to assume here. Godrock coming through. Can Patrol take a good chase here? Hellfire dying on the pallet. Do we fare a pallet stun? We hear it, we see it, it happens! Beautiful play from Jaden here to keep Patrol alive, to see yet another chase here. Batting straight over to try to take out Patrol, as Patrol will make yet another Godrock. This one is dropped, so there will be no dying on a pallet for this one. We will instead just be taking chase in Dracula form. Hellfire coming through, as it will mean a tag onto Jaden and a quick down onto Jaden as well. Are we content with taking this? We actually are. Pain Resonance will be happening here. And perhaps they're okay with this because you don't think that Patrol can really make that much. Yeah, Patrol makes it to the top side of the map, but a Pain Resonance plus able to catch right back up to her. Not something that you hate. Beautifully played from Patrol, however, able to make this chase last a little bit longer, dropping this pallet, making it so that the chase lasts a little bit longer, taking to the 10 side of the map. 10 does have a pallet. And that'll mean a down. On to Patrol. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here coming in from Patrol here, taking chase just a little bit longer. However, it will be a death at 3 generators remaining. This is a great, great thing for Phaser. Finesse taking chase. Hellfire coming through, but not quite able to land true. We know Fancy and Jaden were on the bottom side of the map here. They have gotten the resets out that they needed to get. We are teleporting over to the 5 side of the map, trying to stop this generator from popping. We know it was progressed. Pop goes Louisa on this generator at 5. We see scratch marks leaving, heading over to the shack side of the map, taking our chase over there. Can we potentially catch up to a potential survivor? We do. Wolfform, no, actually, Fancy taking a lot of distance here. A lot more distance than I thought. Turning herself around here, themselves around here, we are able to make back Fancy. A tag onto Fancy. Beautifully done from Phaser. Do we fear 5 popping? I don't think we really do. We want to shut down this chase as quickly as possible. And we might just do so. We will, in fact. That is another down, or a down onto Fancy. 5 eruption will happen. Dying on this pallet. Is there a pallet stun? No, not today. No cigar. Hooking back onto the 12 side of the map here. The top of the main building. Is this a pain resonance? This is a pain resonance. We are stopping any generator from popping that we possibly can. We suspect that 5 was actually the most progress generator. However, we did just see birds. Now, difficult to tell if those were disturbed by the Dark Lord himself, but it's very possible. I can't tell if he was quite close enough to disturb those birds. However, I'm pretty sure that killers disturb birds from farther distances than survivors do. Vaulting through the window. There is Finesse. Finesse taking chase against the Dark Lord. Bat form coming through. We're trying to find our way to another down. However, we are not able to do so. Fancy probably getting reset by Jaden here. Probably be confirming that in just a moment. Scratch marks are around here. There's Fancy. And there's a down. Honestly, probably a smart move from Fancy to force pull here, as it will mean a little bit more time, but for her team to maybe get another generator done. However, all the generators have been regressed to an almost halt here. 3 generators, the only one that I can foresee popping in the near future. However, I've been wrong before, as 5 is actually quite close. There's Jaden. Jaden taking chase to the 3 side of the map here. No pallet here to speak of unhook happening, meaning that 5 generator was not having been progressed. FTP happening on to Fancy. Now, here's the thing. Pop goes the Weasel on this generator is probably the smart play, just because you want to protect... Oh, but you do want to protect this side of the map here. This generator can no longer regress. That actually explains quite a lot. You hear them. You hear them. You know they're around here. A reset is happening, and there is Finesse with the For the People. I don't know if you can make this. You can. Hellfire, not quite gonna land true, though. Beautifully done from Finesse to dodge through that, dodge away from that, or not dodge away from that, really, and truthfully, if you think about it. We're leaving. We're leaving. That generator pops, so that means that we will continue with this chase. Remember, our win condition is 4K1. If we can achieve that... No, our win condition is actually a 3K11. If you'll remember. My apologies. That bleed out did matter for something. There's Jaden dropping the pallet here. We see Fancy taking a tag. We're trying to distract from Fancy. However, we did see her. And them. Again. This might just be a quick down here. Hellfire going to be coming through in just a moment. No, never mind. The Fancy will just be going down onto this pallet. Now remember, Fancy is dead on hook. This will turn this into a 2v1. Now you have to assume there might be a pallet stun in for the making here, and it will happen. No, just barely misses it. Does Jaden not quite able to get it? You might have been even able to get a flashlight save there, but not gonna quite happen as we're heading back over to the 5 side of the map. That generator was really close to popping. You have to imagine Finesse is on it. Do you imagine correctly? It doesn't look like you do. This generator was very close, though. 5, very close to popping. This generator has 7, very close to popping. This 2v1 is improbable, but not impossible, as we will be seeing Finesse taking the next chase. Jaden going over to pop the 5 generator. We need to pop that generator. A down onto Finesse means it will probably still be popping, but unfortunately, it just won't be enough. No. Jaden knows better. Jaden knows that this generator can no longer be kicked. He knows his win condition. He understands that he cannot pop that generator. If he does, the game's over. This is actually quite smart from Jaden to leave this generator going to maybe try to play into the 2v1. We will not be finding Jaden. Instead, we'll just be picking up Finesse here. And 5 does pop. I was going to say, maybe there was something here that Jaden wanted to play for. Now, you think... I think that maybe leaving that generator up was a smart play. You have to imagine that maybe Jaden popping the generator at this point and this juncture is just needed. Get the best result you possibly can. It's probably impossible to match the 3K11. There it is. There's the unhook. We saw it, but I don't think Phaser did. Phaser will see it now, however. Batting straight back to hook here. Finesse has second win. Now, this is exactly what you may need to make something happen here, as Jaden will be taking a tag. There is no shack pallet, so Jaden has to be very careful. Running straight through the shack here. Does he actually take the window here? He does, and it will mean he's able to retake it again. Beautifully done from Jaden here. Lasting out Finesse's second win. Finesse probably going to be doing main building generator here, as it is the next best generator that you could possibly do for this chase. Jaden going to be still taking that chase over to 5 here, but I don't think he's going to make that window. Does he? Oh, no, he doesn't. Unfortunate. Was very close, though. Jaden being picked up on a hook. We want a pain resonance. Now, we don't care about it. Actually, no. Finesse is the one with pain resonance, isn't he? One of these survivors has pain. Doesn't have pain resonance yet. Maybe it's Finesse. I don't remember for the life of me. Main was never being progressed. Meanwhile, let's see exactly what... Never mind. Meanwhile, let's go back to the killer. And continue on. We see Finesse. Honestly, you might want Jaden a little bit more. And I agree. No, that was Finesse. Wait, there was no pools of blood. Oh, that's right. I don't think survivors leave pools of blood when they first get hooked. This is a basic mechanic that you'd think I would know about by now, but like... And again... Subconsciously, I do, but, like, things I don't think about when I'm in the heat of the moment and casting like this. There it is. On the main building. Eruption. Coming through. I'm actually very surprised we actually just jumped down there. Part of me wonders if he's still up there. No. He jumped down to 2. Zoning away from the window. Hellfire coming through. A beautiful Hellfire coming in from Phaser. Wonderfully done. Batting straight over to the 7-6 side of the map here. Can we potentially stop another generator? There's Finesse, and this game is over. A 4K1. Besting an ostensive 3K11. Technical 4K0. However, point-wise and bleed-out system-wise, that was a 3k11. There's Jaden. And that all but cements our result here. Finesse dying on the hook. Jaden getting hooked onto the one hook. Beautifully played from Phaser. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to our tiebreaker set. That's right. It looks like Xtra will be taking the Dracula set. However, this is still anybody's game. The tiebreaker set coming in just a moment. It will be Wesker back on the Cold Tower. See you soon. We are back for some more Entities Campfire here on the Coal Tower. The mastermind himself, Mr. Wesker, versus the survivors of Team Xtra, Team Dead Future. Phaser on the killer, their premier killer player, it looks like. As we are seeing two survivors here. On the middle generator, a beautiful bound coming in from Phaser. Just amazing plays all around. Patrol taking chase over to the bottom side of the map here. Now this loop is quite strong against Wesker, except when dropped. Now Wesker can actually play around this if he knows what he's doing. Flashbang coming through isn't going to mean a down, and it will mean a down onto Patrol actually. Never mind. Beautiful play coming in from Phaser. Patrol taking the chase to where it needs to go as well. However, middle generator will not be popping, and we will be hooking on logs. Pain resonance happening on the middle generator. This is their most progress generator. This is the information you need. Let me move my mouse and not do this again. I was reading chat and I realized that Mario on the mouse tech, as Lily said. But we are going back to the unhook here. We know what we see. Finesse cleansing. Finesse? I think it was Jaden. Jaden cleansing his sickness. Jaden also working the 11 generator here. This is a god rock, however. Will it mean a tag? It will mean a tag through the pallet. Beautifully done from Phaser, understanding his distance. We will be probably bounding back to hook here, you'd have to imagine. Yeah, we are. 1 bound, 2 bound. And it looks like Patrol just wants to take her distance. No FTP play coming in. We do see Patrol, however. I don't know if Phaser saw Patrol just now, though. We will be seeing Patrol now, however, as we are taking chase over to the top side of the map. 3 loop here. Perhaps we are running a little bit to confuse our killer player. However, that will not work as Patrol is there yet again on the main building. Patrol probably going to suffer from the infected status effect, the red's infected status effect, as I like to call it here. Going to be going around the 12 generator. We're not actually using our bounds yet because we want to save them for chase potentially. Someone else was on 1 here, kicking it for eruption. 1 bound, 2 bound to get back to where we need to be here. Middle generator will be popping. The generator efficiency of our team, Team Dead Future, has picked up. And this is exactly what you need if you're Dead Future. Patrol taking chase to where it all started, baby. Here we go. Breaking the pallet, going over to the 8 side of the map here. However, we're not going to bother wasting any of our time trying to do so. Dropping the 8 pallet, looping around it, heading straight to the mid area here. Can we make main? It doesn't look like we can. We're going to need a good couple of bounds here to potentially do it. And that will not happen. Patrol will go down. Beautifully done from Phaser. Ending that chase as quickly as he could. We see Fancy running away from this 1 generator here. We're not interested in chasing that. We have a good hook spot. I want to keep this. However, we do know 11 was being progressed quite steadily. However, looks like it's kind of grinded to a halt here. Now, this is a 3-gen, 4-gen even, that you do not hate protecting. Look at this. We have 1, 11, main, and 3. Beautiful, beautiful generators to protect here. There's a survivor stealthing around for the unhook. Oh no, Finesse getting caught off guard here might just seal the deal for Team Dead Future. I believe the comm, however, was made that I was spotted. I need to leave. Someone else come in. And we will just be camping out Patrol to death here. You have to imagine... Oh, nope, there's Jaden. This will be a double pull, it looks like. A hit through. Will mean an unhook as well. Very unfortunate that you didn't get a throw there. You kind of wanted a throw. If you could get it. However, it will not happen. Patrol doesn't really have much else to go here. Oh, no, that's not true. Patrol has a little bit less left to use. Please excuse any background you hear going on right now as it is raining. I do heavily apologize for that. I've been trying to invest in a new microphone for this purpose. However, right now, just don't have the funds for that. Patrol taking an amazing last chase. However, unfortunately, will get caught off guard here. Not quite able to keep Phaser preoccupied long enough. But 11 will pop, surprisingly. That was a really, really well done play here, as it will mean that our 4-gen will turn into a 3-gen 1. Also, very, very highly progressed here. We want to kick this pallet as quickly as possible, trying to chain our chases here as quickly as possible here. We know that that bottom side generator is being progressed here. There is Jaden. That may not be the play, because now we know exactly where our next injured survivor is. Vaulting through the window here. We will make this 10 pallet, dropping it immediately. Beautiful play coming in from Phaser as Jaden will go down. Beautifully done. We're just hooking straight away at this 10 loop, as this is a pain resonance hook. Bounding straight back to 1. We know that this generator was highly progressed. However, it has regressed to nothing at this point, almost. The only generator they could be progressing at this point is that bottom side generator, and that is exactly what they are doing. Everyone, say it with me. Pop goes the weasel onto this generator, onto Eruption. We see Chase going on over to Shaq here. Fancy, just... we need to work on our Shaq check spots, okay? Look, I mean this in the nicest way possible. We need to... oh, actually... I've eaten my words. Fancy, I would like to apologize for my comment, okay? That was rude of me, and I am so sorry, because you have proven me wrong. We will be getting thrown as well. This is actually not terrible, if you're Fancy here. However, a tag will be happening. We are not interested in taking the chase over to that top side of the map. That's where the generators need to progress. I'm going to take my tag, and I'm going to go over here. Now, this is something that a lot of pub players can learn from. Notice how Fancy was perfectly content with taking the free tag to make it over to the bottom side of the map. There's a reason for this. It's because we need to make sure we're dying in the correct location so that our team can progress the generators on the top side of the map. It's okay that if it means that the chase didn't last as long as we wanted to, because think about if we had taken chase on the top side of the map, it means that these top generators wouldn't be able to be progressed to the same extent. We would be interrupting almost all of them. So Fancy, I think, making the correct decision and just eating the tag and going down. There's anyone now getting into comp that wants to learn a little bit? There's something to take away. Sometimes, and in fact almost all the time, our death location is more important than our chase length. Again, there are, you know, not always, but like, in this case, I think it was the correct choice. Chase going on into Fancy here. Yet again. Mind gaming this loop, however, we are just going to the corner of the map. Again, Fancy understanding the assignment, knowing I'm just dead here, guys. Get as much progress on those top generators as you possibly can. Picking up Fancy here. Fancy, I believe, is dead on hook, so we will be saying goodbye to Fancy. For Fancy's death, will we be seeing another generator pop, making this a 1-generator protocol? Fancy's not dead! I've eaten my words. I thought Fancy was dead here, but I have been wrong once, and I'm wrong again. 1 is very close to popping here. This is why death location matters, because had Fancy taken chase to top, the hook would have happened on the top and the generator would not have been able to progress to this extent. Very well done from Fancy, as Fancy will be unhooked. We know that that is where Finesse has to be as well. Finesse picking up the bottle here. This is not balanced landing, meaning Finesse will be taking a tag here, heading over to the bottom side of the map. That's exactly what we want our survivors to do here, as Phaser will be 1 bound, 2 bounding over to try to get Fancy, or Finesse, sorry. Finesse will not be going down, however. Jaden is progressing the top side generators, and we will be leaving Finesse, as we know that Fancy has to be around here somewhere. We want a death, making this a 2-survivor protocol as quickly as possible, as it will be very, very difficult for our survivors to pop another generator in that interim. I think... hold on. No, Fancy is stealthing this very, very well. Look at where she is. Hiding in the corner, making sure that these generators are being progressed here. That generator was very close to popping. However, Jaden will pop it, as Finesse will take chase over to the 11 corner side of the map. Finesse, I believe, is just okay with dying here. Again, look at where we're dying. Corners to prevent as much time as possible to allow our team to progress the generators. Oh Beautiful down onto Finesse, but it will not be at the cost, or be at the cost, excuse me, of a whiff. A swing and a miss. Hooking Finesse onto the one side of the map here. 1 bound, 2 bound, and stubbing our toe on the chest here. As we try to get back down to the bottom side of the map, we know that this bottom side generator was being progressed. A fair, decent amount on hook will be happening on to Finesse here. Now again, I want to point out what Fancy is doing here. Fancy has not touched any generator, has just stealthed, and there's a reason for that. I want to talk a little bit about that. Now, Fancy in their current state is fully infected and is injured. Fancy cannot do anything. If Fancy is caught off by the Wesker, they will go down very quickly, they will die, and it will be a 2-survivor protocol. Fancy dying here would mean devastating things for Team Xtra. Or sorry, for Team Dead Future. I mean amazing things for Team Xtra. So, Fancy correctly stealthing, picking up and dropping her item, trying to prevent the birds from happening, and gonna wait for a reset to come over to her. Once that reset happens and she's able to fully disinfect, then she can make some plays, but she needs to be very careful. There's the disinfection onto Fancy. As you can see, Killer wants to get over there very, very quickly, maybe try to get it down onto Fancy. I think I see the rotation of Fancy just there. Did I see it? I might be wrong. No, I don't. But however, Fancy will be caught off here. No! Fancy's still stealthing for her life. Beautifully done from Fancy here. Jaden wants to distract the Wesker. Now, there's very clear reason why this is happening here. Again, we're preventing our killer from seeing Fancy. We want to save Fancy for the end game as a body blocker to prevent any stages from happening, and to distract the killer as much as possible, Jaden is going to take chase. Jaden is leaving and going to main building, as main building is heavily progressed here, almost 50%. And this will mean that Fancy, fully stealthing this out, is able to get the reset. This is competitive Dead by Daylight, ladies and gentlemen. Finesse taking her chase here into the main building, 1 bound, and we are canceling our power. Finesse, might be the one with bounce landing. I'm not entirely certain. However, it will mean a tag onto Finesse. No! A swing and a miss onto Finesse! However, eventually it will be a tag onto Finesse, and we are leaving that chase. They could be doubling this bottom side generator, and yes, in fact, they are. Phaser understands this, and Phaser wants to stop that from happening, kicking this bottom side generator. Finesse, you have to assume, is back on this main building generator. Yes, she is heading back over to the main building. Is Phaser, as they are heading back onto this bottom side generator, trying to get as much progress on it as possible. Finesse understands what is happening, understands the assignment, and needs to run for her life. Finesse is going to die. Will call this down, you have to imagine, most likely. Will, but unfortunately Jaden isn't able to react in time. Finesse will be picked up here. Beautifully done from our survivors. Again, people who are new to comp may not be understanding why it is that the survivors are not looping properly and are just going to the corner. Again, it's because we're trying to save as much time as possible. We have to understand when it is that we're dead and when it is that we have to accept that we're dead and when it is that we can live. In this case, Finesse accepts the fact that she's just gonna die and is going to die as far away from this progressing gen as she possibly can. Phaser, seeing where Jaden is, however, is not interested in chasing. This generator is not nearly as progressed as you fear. 3, not nearly as progressed as you fear. Fancy has stealthed, has beaten all the odds, and lived yet another day as this middle generator is still being progressed. We're heading back down towards it, looking back at the hook to see if we can see the unhook happening. And there will be Jaden running away. Pop goes the weasel on this bottom side generator, and unhook onto Finesse will be happening. The survivors of Dead Future are playing this so well. This 3v1 is quite incredible stuff. This is what we mean when we say competitive DBD. It's exciting, ladies and gentlemen. A body block onto Fancy to prevent this down as much as possible. However, it means we will be pivoting to Fancy. And I don't think there's much for Fancy to do here. Fancy's just gonna go down. Eruption on this bottom side generator will also mean a slug as we're heading straight back over there. We're committed to this generator, ladies and gentlemen. No, we said we're hiding. We don't think that we see... Wait. Did Phaser not see... I don't think Phaser saw the aura. Yeah, I don't think Phaser saw the aura, but that's okay. We're still taking Jace over onto Finesse here. Finesse will be point teching to try to buy as much time as possible. Finesse will be picked up. Goodbye, Finesse, I believe. Yes, Finesse is dead on hook here. So this will be a 2v1. Fancy still on the ground. Jaden, we know, was around here somewhere. Jaden, however, is going to go for the pickup on to Fancy here. Phaser might understand this. Yes, in fact, he does. So he wants to go and try to stop this from happening. Fancy, however, will be picked up, but it might not be at the cost of just another down. Just immediately. There's Jaden. A tag onto Jaden will mean all the survivors, both survivors, forgive me, are injured. We know for a fact Fancy's around here somewhere. Where is Fancy? One side of the map, of course. No, the 11th side of the map, excuse me. Jaden taking the final chase. One more chase to end it all, and it will mean a down onto Jaden. Beautifully done, as Fancy will be heading over for that generator. However, not before Phaser is able to see the rotation. This is all but decided. A 4K1 result coming in from Phaser. Beautifully done. Very, very close, though. I mean, look at how close that generator was. A very commendable effort from the survivors of Dead Future. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go take a quick intermission. Stay tuned for some more exciting gameplay and to see if we will decide who takes this first match of the one. Or not this first match, but this match in particular. If we stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to potentially the final game of the Entity's Campfire. Jaden on the killer killing for Team Dead Future against the survivors of Xtra, Phaser, Revel, Feedy, and Diego. Our win condition today, ladies and gentlemen, is a 4K2. Our tie condition, a 4K1. If the tie condition can be met, a beautiful hit coming in from Jaden. The tie condition can be met, we will be going back to the clown set. However, chase going on onto the shack side of the map here. So we are not quite able to make anything happen here. Diego not taking a bad chase. I was pointed out by the lovely Tiger Lily that, you know, Shack is actually more of a 50-50 on the Wesker, simply because of how his power works. It can be a little bit more precarious, so we can't fully blame the survivors for just simply holding W and not holding the check spots to the same efficiency as other killers, just because it's not the easiest loop against this killer. However, Diego will be going into the basement here. Beautiful, beautiful first chase for Jaden here. However, one generator will pop for Jaden's troubles. Apologies again for the mouse. I do this every single time. We're going back up to the top side of the map here. We see a survivor rotating here. It looks like to be Revel, I want to say. Didn't catch a good glimpse. Our pop goes a weasel on the top mid generator here. We do see Phaser as we want to kick the main doors here. It's potentially possible. We see another survivor stealthing over there, by the way. It is potentially possible that we want to try to catch a survivor off guard from crossing to try to prevent an unhook. Our win condition isn't the easiest. You know, Wesker's not weak, but his results on Close Tower tend to be around 2K8, 2K6. So we are expecting a couple of more maybe risky plays to come in from both survivors and killer player here to try to meet that win condition, as we will simply be taking our distance back to a tag coming in from Phaser. Jaden is content with leaving that and going back to protect the basement hook, as we will be cleansing on 10. It looks like Diego has efficiently and effectively been capped to second stage. Very, very well done from our survivor, from our killer player. There's Phaser. Now the question is, do you actually commit for this, or do you try to just get a quick death? That's a good question. However, in the meantime, they will be popping all those topside generators, so maybe that's not the smartest thing in the world, as we will not see anyone quite rotated in. Unless they've managed to walk themselves in, that will not be happening. One generator will be popping. One generator will be popping, so that is a very good sign for the efficiency of our survivors here. Remember, they need to make a 4K1 if it is they want to go to the tie. Main generator will also be popping. We do see a rotation from Revel, and it will be stopped. It looks like Diego will simply be dying at 2 generators remaining. Beautiful plays coming in. All 3 of our survivors are up here. This is actually very, very good for Jaden. Jaden could capitalize very well on this, and this is a throw! A throw will mean a very quick, a body block as well. Very quick communication coming in from our survivor players. Very good understanding of what needs to be done here. I need to get out of this corner. I've been thrown. Someone please help me. Don't worry, Feedy. Phaser will help you. And I will take chase for you, in fact, as chase will be happening onto this 9 tile as well. We're building up Bloodlust. We're perfectly content with just building up Bloodlust, it looks like, and trying to keep this chase prolonged as possible. There it is, and we will make the window here. You have to wonder if maybe the Bloodlust play wasn't the best play in the world. Yeah, we wasted quite a bit of time there. Phaser has done her job effectively. There's a rotation from Revel. A kick onto this 5 generator here. And we will be heading straight back to the top side of the map here, as we will see Revel on this side of the map here. They are actually healing now, which is actually very, very good. If they can get these resets off, it'd actually mean that they can bring back a lot of their efficiency here. There's Revel. Revel taking chase now. Breaking this Ormond tile palette. And I do believe this will mean a tag onto Revel. No, Revel has very effectively played this tile and circumcised a tag and fully circumcised a tag at that as well. As there will be no tag to happen here. We are just going to the corner of the map now, trying to play out our chase here. We really would like... Oh my god, I was gonna say, if that threads the needle as well, it would just be devastating. However, Revel will be going down. Eruption on the 3 generators here. Beautiful chase from Jaden.
7 minutes is all I can.
7 minutes is all he can spare to play with Revel. As Revel will be put on a hook. Jaden going over to the bottom side of the map here. Wanted to vault that window and said, I missed it. Well, take my frustration out on this door and head up to the main building to see maybe if we can catch anyone stealthing. But no, no one's here. So let's do a bit of housekeeping and let's break these pallets. Break these pallets, do a little bit of renovation to this map. I hate the color blue, red, and brown all together in a combination of wood. It's all gonna get destroyed, and we see scratch marks. I also hate the color red. I must destroy the color red. Especially when it's on the ground. Kicking this generator with Eruption. 1 bound, 2 bound. Beautiful Jiggy coming in from Phaser. As Revel will cleanse on the one side of the map here. Chase going in onto Phaser here. We do actually make this loop here. Phaser again tries to Jiggy the killer. However, it's not going to quite work out. Jaden a little bit wise to it at this point. As we're heading straight back down to the 7th side of the map here. We unfortunately do not see anyone just yet. No, we do see scratch marks. And there is Revel. There is absolutely nothing on this side of the map, and our killer player, Jaden, has done the due diligence to show for it. We are heading straight back over to this. Now, this was actually a very good setup for our Survivor players here. Unfortunately, not able to quite get the hit onto Revel there. Vaulting through that window. Maybe we expected a revault. However, it's not going to happen. Revel a little bit wise to it. Taking our bound. 1 bound. 2 bound will mean a down onto Revel. Eruption happening as well. Revel was our previous pain resonance, so we're okay with hooking somewhere a little bit more idealistic, even if it's not a pain resonance. There it is on the middle side of the map here. We see this generator progress. We don't want to use our Pop Goes the Weasel just yet. We want to hold on to that for a little bit more of a progress generator. We see Phaser coming in. Phaser cannot afford to go for this, however. Phaser is injured, and if Phaser goes down on this hook, this would be devastating for our survivors. 5 generator. Very close to popping. We're going to play it safe here. And we're going to leave. Take the tag onto Feedy, get Pop Goes the Weasel out on this generator, get it regressing, put Eruption on it, and leave. And now we're going to go back to see if maybe, just maybe, we can get another quick down. Putting Eruption on this top mid generator as well. Any regression is good regression. There's Revel. Revel will be going down. Beautiful, beautiful bound from Jaden. That was incredible. Hit a lot of obstacles there that I thought he was going to stumble on, but it just didn't work out. We also heard, I believe, a locker coming in as well, meaning that it was potentially a head-on play, but it just didn't work out. We don't really care about it, however. We want to protect these generators. A 4K2 would mean the win condition, and it is a 2 survivor protocol for this as well. It is actually looking very possible for Jaden. Feedy will be going down. And that means My mouse is in the way. And that means a 4K2. Unless Phaser can maybe get something done here. Now, I'll have to be corrected if I'm wrong. But if Jaden... Sorry, casting this is both exciting and impossible because I'm on the tip of my seat. Now, I believe Team Xtra killed first. And Team Xtra also won the Dracula set. So... if it is that Team Xtra wins this set,
I'll see you dead.
then we're going back to Clown. A hook onto Feedy. What do you do if your Phaser here is the question? An impossible question that I don't think there's a right answer to. We suspected maybe someone was in this locker. Sorry, again for being silent, but like, I am still on the tip of my seat here looking to see where Phaser is. We're just checking every locker at this point. Where, oh where could Phaser be? Phaser has phased away, it looks like. Let's actually find out where he is. I see. Item teching in the corner of one. This is some exciting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you understand, but the Phaser has completely eluded Jaden. Now, Phaser getting out through the exit gates here. What would that mean? Well, that's the question at this point. I'm not sure if it would mean anything, considering that there's still 2 generators remaining. There's the killer heading towards the exit gate. I think it's over. We have found Phaser. Finally, we have done so. Taking chase into the main building. Here is Phaser trying to elude the killer. And here we go. Final chase happening at the game. Vaulting through window. Chasing into Phaser. Over to the one side of the map here. Phaser is going to be able to make this pallet, but is there much else to use? Instead, going to choose to try to go for the stun. Not going to be happening. Jaden a little bit wise to it. One bound. No. Canceling our power. We're just going to be M1ing Phaser down. All we have left is the main building here, and we're going to try our darndest to use it. One bound. 2 bound will not mean a down. Phaser's still taking an amazing chase here. Has to try to maybe make a play here, but will unfortunately be going down. And a beautiful stealthing going on from Phaser. And here is the endgame Mori. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe, and I'll get back to you shortly on this, that this means we'll be going to the Clown. If so, stay tuned. Okay, hello everyone. I apologize. We are back and we will also be ending very soon. Um, Due to some time constraints here, Xtra unfortunately will not be able to do their 1v1. However, Dead Future, is still here. Therefore, it looks like our winner for today will be Dead Future. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. I apologize. We hope that everyone enjoyed today's stream. We hope that you all come join us again tomorrow. I will be casting yet again tomorrow. However, we will, in fact, be ending today. Dead Future has won 2-1. Congratulations to Dead Future. Thank you very much to Xtra. We hope to see both teams again very soon. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Goodbye, everyone.